Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out VeChain's price chart, and I'm going to in today's update argue that the current move that we are having is extremely important for the future of VeChain in just like very short time. Why is that? First things first, if you remember the last time that we talked about VeChain, I think we were right around the highs, and the idea was that even if we want to be bullish and we want to argue that this point is indeed our final low, I'm going to tell you in a bit why this can be sort of kind of up for the base. Then okay, you can say this is one, this is two, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into wave 3, and I said I would rather see a move on the downside in VeChain, which is going to happen probably soon, and pay full attention to the shape of it. Now, we did get our move down, but what is it about the shape of that move that we talked about? You see, one very important characteristic of a corrective movement is being very slow and choppy, and between our pullbacks, you are constantly able to identify, in case of a correction, overlapping of the waves. However, one very important characteristic of an impulse is the fact that you rarely have overlapping of the waves, and your move down is actually quite strong. So what is going on in VeChain in the recent phase down? I think, unfortunately, this is an impulsive structure down, and here is how I can argue that. Okay, so I believe this is probably a wave 1 correction for wave 2, another move down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5, which on a higher degree is into a wave 1, followed by a correction for wave 2, a strong impulse down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5, which is already not, I'm gonna say, necessarily an optimistic sign. Followed by that, what is going on? There is a chance that this is going to be like an C zigzag, and I'm going to say probably the end of our B leg is going to be right around these areas, and we may see a move up in the short term. Why is that? Let's go around here. Okay, so you see, in an ABC zigzag, you are having sub waves like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into A, correction for wave B. Let's say sure, an ABC, and yet another 5 wave on the upside into wave C, and let's go on the live chart and count some waves, because I think we can all 100% agree that this is actually a clear cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Followed by that, however, this is a problem. Sure, you can consider this move down being an ABC. However, finding a 5 wave in this phase up in order for you to be able to say, you know what, this was the end of A, this is our B leg, and this was our wave C, and from here we're going to get a move down, is kind of a bit challenging. So what is it that I'm trying to say? I'm trying to tell you this whole move on the downside, probably to about this point, maybe even a bit lower, is going to be into our B leg, and about the shape of it. Currently, I'm thinking about, let's say, sure, an A, B, C in form of an expanded flat, which looks like this. For your B leg, you have to take this initial high, and for your C leg, if you are going to take the low of our A leg, this is called an expanded flat. If you are not going to take it, and for example, our C leg, it's going to end right here. This is called a running flat. Nonetheless, the subwaves for both our flats are going to be absolutely identical. ABC down into A, ABC, or from my POV, WXY doesn't really matter, into wave B, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into wave C, and again, this can be absolutely an ABC zigzag. Followed by that, I believe you actually have a good argument for this move up to be probably to about this point, an A, correction for wave B around here, and yet another move up into C, and this seems like kind of a strong move down. So maybe this is 1, this is 2, and then 3, 4, 5 wave, and on a higher degree, what are you having? Probably the sub waves for a beautiful looking, in this case, if you want to say the final low in VeChain is in right in here, an A, B, C running flat, something like this. And once more, on even a higher degree, what do you have? Probably 5 up into A, correction for wave B, and yet another move up into our C leg. So in the short term, I'm going to say probably in the next 48 hours, if you see something like this in VeChain, do not be surprised. It is very normal to have a move on the upside, starting hopefully from the current point. However, do not be at that point overwhelmingly bullish around these areas. Why is that? Because let's just delete this one. Okay, what is going on when you go on some higher time frames, let's say even H1, you are essentially having maybe 5 down, followed by a correction up, and well, unfortunately, this might be a bit of a bearish setup, indicating after this move is over, we may see yet another move down in order to take this important low. And at that point, if we are going to get a move down, I think I am actually able to make another update when we do something like this, and this is going to be for like the next 5 to 7 days. But let's just talk about it right now. If we get a move down, at that point, I need you to have your eyes on this head and shoulder structure, and specifically the neckline of it right in here. Why? Because this head and shoulder at the moment is not really confirmed yet. When will it get confirmed? When we get a move down in order to go under the line, do a pullback, and then we get a continuation of the move down in order to take this low. And at that point, well, okay, you should probably count on some more downward price action. So for now, in VeChain, let's have a move on the upside and then be prepared for a move down, so in case it happens, you're not going to be surprised at all. If we continue our move down in order to take this high and go much higher, you know what, fantastic, we are going to end up making quite a good bit of money. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in VeChain's chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.